Ooh, why is community important? I'm an example of my community. My name's Kevin, by the way. I've been down 30 plus years. I have sat there for the better part of those 30 years, been indifferent, selfish, shallow, superficial. Prior to coming to these groups, I'd walk by them, not even really give them the time of day. And I was that way, not just among the community, I was probably that way with my family as well, and I was just oblivious to it. But as a point comes in my life, or came to my life, I started getting involved. I felt like I was at the bottom of a well looking up. And my community, this community, reached down and pulled me up. They sat there, they saw in me something I didn't see in myself. They showed me a way to sit there, how I could feel good about myself, how I could sit there and by being of service to others, increase that. To find a part of me that I thought I'd lost a long time ago when I committed my double homicide. That part of me where I felt my soul die, I found it come back. And it's really, it's inspiring to sit there to have this group of men around me who will continue to sit there and do that, and that's what I want to do for other people and other men.
For a long time, I thought community was weak. For a long time, I abandoned my community. I abandoned family. I abandoned what it felt like to be a part of a community. For a long time, I took my selfishness, I wore it on my sleeve. But when I got into prison, I got into GOGI, and I started understanding that there was brothers who loved me and cared about me and cared about my needs and my wants. That's what made me understand that community is strength. Community is not something that is looked upon as being weak. Community is not something that isolates each other. They build each other. So that's what me and my brothers have done here in creating this GOGI, creating the House of Blues, is that we created strength. We've created a place where men can let down their guards and say, look, we're strong. We're not weak. We're not weak because we're in this building and trying to achieve something greater. We're strong, and that's what I believe. Community is the greatest thing that we can do.
I used to be a part of the community or whatever, but I didn't embrace the community as in the sense of what we're talking about today. I had a different idea of what a community was. I want to give a short little story of why community is important to me today. I had a pair of gloves. I lost them. Didn't know where they was at, and I had these gloves. I had an emotional attachment to it. So I lose them, and I'm kind of going crazy. So first thing I think, I'm gonna see somebody with them on. I'm gonna go up to them and ask them for them. Play the whole little scenario in my head. Ask them for them, they're not gonna give them back to me. I'm gonna try to pay for them. They're not gonna give them back, and that old habit is gonna kick in, and I'm not gonna be the boss of my brain anymore. So I'm thinking about it. So I'm individualizing all my problems. So as I'm walking from the child hall back to the building, I see my GOGI members, and I look at them. I said, well, we have discussed if we have problems, we can't come to each other. So I look, I said, nah, so I walk. So I come back. I said, you know what? Brother's name was John. I said, John, having a problem. I lost my gloves, and if I see somebody with them, you don't want to give them back, I'm fearing the old me is going to pop up, and I don't want that to come. I said, so can y'all help me? If you see somebody with them, this, and that, get them for me, help me get them back. Because if I see them with me, I'm afraid my old me is going to come back. So they pulled me to the side, about 4 different gentlemen pulled me to the side, talked to me, and they basically calmed me down. And then after I got through thinking about the gloves weren't even important anymore. So that's why community is important, because we lift each other up. When we're at our lowest and we think we don't have anybody, we have each other. And it's a body. It really is a body of men, people around us that support each other. Without this man, without this man, without this man, without anybody in this group, I feel to myself that I would be going backwards. So community is very important. And once, say he's the leg and his leg is hurt, is this limb is injured, our body is hurting. It's not at full capacity. So we, as a community, we come and help this man with his leg or whatever it is to bring it up and strengthen our community. Thank you.
Well, we have a community here in this prison. You wouldn't think so because we're in prison. The people on the outside don't see that. They don't understand prison. I never did before I came to prison, but when I was on the outside, I thought community was important, but I lacked insight. When I came to prison, the first 3 or 4 years, I was just feeling things out. But then I started doing these self-help groups, and then I got found GOGI 9 months ago, and it's increased using these tools to make positive decisions, make more positive decisions in my life, and to claim responsibility if I do something wrong and go and apologize to somebody. All this stuff is important to me. You know, I want to have friendship and all these people in GOGI that I've been hanging around with for 9 months. They're all my brothers. Anytime I see them out in the yard, I say hi to them. And if they need anything, I'm there to help them.
It's strength, it's powerful. You know, I want to touch on what Miguel said earlier. The community is right to resent things that we get or to fear prisoners getting out. You know, that's very understandable. And I think we have the privilege of correction. You know, I've seen through the love of community, people that love us enough to come help us. It's understandable, and I empathize with the community's fear, and I feel it's a duty of mine to help strengthen the community by emphasizing forgiveness and not letting them down, their vulnerabilities, exploiting their vulnerabilities. Instead, you know, try to comfort them and console them and show them, you know, that there's a possible way that we can help reach people to correct their actions before they reach prison. You know, there were things that could have prevented me from coming to prison if it would have been caught ahead of time. And I think it's a privilege of ours to be able to correct the flaws that were in our character, you know. And I also think it's important for the community to understand that you can't just lock people away and discard them, you know, because once sometime people are gonna get released back, and if you don't cure the defect in someone, it's gonna corrode the community, such as, you know, the product of the community of many of us come from, you know. And I think that there's an opportunity, instead of a division, to mend a lot of the separations in the community by, you know, helping at-risk youth, helping people that have needs, you know, that need to be met, that come from troubled homes or drug addiction. And instead of using a punitive approach, you know, use a compassionate approach and try to cure what's wrong at the root. And community, it's very possible for a strong community to save that. You know, it takes a village to raise someone. And separation, you can't grow, a hurt person gets further and further into their defects when they're alone. You know, it takes a community to build them back up. And something that prison does is that we're stuck with this community on the yard, whether you like it or not. And so I think it empowers us by being around such negativity, still planting seeds of positivity, that you know, that the light will cast out darkness around you if you're true to the light in people, you know, and you're true to the service of your community. And community is very beautiful, you know, like Mr. Pettis spoke about. We used to prey on the community, and I think it's curing the perception of community as well. You know, it's not weak, it's empowering, and it's a strong force that can help everyone.
G-O-G-I, G-O-G-I, go become this, I got the tools to live by. G-O-G-I, G-O-G-I, go become this, I got the tools to live by. G-O-G-I, G-O-G-I, go become this, I got the tools to live by. G-O-G-I, G-O-G-I, go become this, I got the tools to live by. G-O-G-I, G-O-G-I, go become this, I got the tools to live by. G-O-G-I, G-O-G-I, go become this, I got the tools to live by. G-O-G-I, G-O-G-I, yo, he told me this, I got the tools to live by. G-O-G-I, G-O-G-I, yo, he told me this, I got the tools to live by. G-O-G-I, G-O-G-I, yo, he told me this, I got the tools to live by. G-O-G-I, G-O-G-I, yo, he told me this, I got the tools to live by. G-O-G-I, G-O-G-I, yo, he told me this, I got the tools to live by. G-O-G-I, G-O-G-I, yo, he told me this, I got the tools to live by. G-O-G-I, G-O-G-I, yo, he told me this, I got the tools to live by. G-O-G-I, G-O-G-I, yo, he told me this, I got the tools to live by. G-O-G-I, G-O-G-I,